This video is the first of two videos which will give you the best chance of taking those breathtaking photos. I'm going to show you how you can find amazing photo locations, how to know where to be with your camera at that location, and how to find the best time of day to be there. If you stay to the end, I have a special giveaway for you. In the second video, I'm going to show you what happens on location. If you're new to this channel, I'm Richard Gill. I'm a professional photographer, and on here I provide photography tutorials and tips to help you improve your photos. If that sounds like something you might be of interest to you, then please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. While sometimes you might get that money shot just by being in the right place at the right time, you can dramatically improve your chances if you plan your photo shoot in advance. There are four things you need to consider. Firstly, where to go. So you've put a day aside to go and take some photographs, or you're going away on holiday to a new destination and you want to find some beautiful shots while you're there. How are you going to find those special locations? There are a couple of websites that will get you started. The first one is Location Scout. On here you can search by location or by location type, for example waterfalls. Now it works better for the more famous locations than it does for the less well known. So another website I use is Location Hotspot. And again you can search by location and type, but the feature I like best is the advanced search. And for the purposes of this video I'm going to use the Ribblehead Viaduct as my location. I've taken some shots here on moody days and want to go back and do a sunrise or sunset. The site shows you results in detail, so you can already get an idea of where you need to be, and it gives examples of other photos taken in the same area. And you've now got a good idea of where you want to go, so it's worth checking other imaging sites to see if there are any shots that you like, and also to see if there's something you could take that nobody else has taken already. Right, we have our location fixed. We can really fine-tune where we're going to be, where we need to stand with our camera. Your second point is to decide where are the best places to shoot from. Now, one good way to do this is to use Google Maps. Simply type in your location, make sure you set the view to satellite view, and look around for some interesting features. Now, in this example, we're going to take a landscape photo, and I'm looking for some areas that might be limestone or something like that that'll make an interesting feature to include in the foreground. What you might not know is on Google Maps you can actually measure the distance that they are from your main subject. You right click and then choose measure distance from the pop-up menu. You can now search around the rest of the area to see if there are other good locations. Oh, by the way, if you're enjoying this video, please do give it a like. The third thing we need to consider when taking our photo, as in this example, I want to take a sunrise and a sunset, so we need to consider the time of day. And I use two apps to help me with this. Unfortunately, neither of them are free, but they're not too expensive. They're around £10 to £15 or dollars. The two apps I use are PhotoPills and the Photographer's Ephemeris. Now I'll put links to those in the description for this video. Both have lots of features and I can never really remember how to use them. And I'm not going to try and show you how to do that on here. They both have great video tutorials on YouTube, and I recommend you watch those as they'll explain how to use them much better than I can. But let's give you a little example with PhotoPills. I've already worked out my location, so I know where I think the best options are to stand. And in the planner screen, I can now drop a pin. and I can scroll the timeline along to see how the sun moves across the scene. And I can try it at a few locations by moving the pin to see which is best. Next, I want to see how the light is going to affect the scene. And I normally check this in the photographer's ephemeris, or TPE as it's simpler to say. I use the 3D version, and again, as I scroll the timeline, I can see where the sun will set and how the light and shadow will fall on the hills. The fourth and final thing you need to consider are the weather conditions. Now, you're probably aware of lots of apps to help you with this. And I use several of them, really just to get different bits of information. And they include things like the Met Office, BBC Weather, and Weather Radar, which I really like because you get a satellite view and you can see how clouds move across the landscape. Windy is another great app I'd recommend, which allows you to see clouds, rain, of course, and things like wind speed. And finally, one that I like to get a good snapshot with is XC Weather. Now this gives you a really nice summary of the conditions. But if you rotate your screen to landscape format, you get to see some extra columns. One of those is cloud cover. So straight away you can see if you're likely to have a chance of cloudy skies or a clear night. The weather is really that major factor that's going to determine which day you're going to go and take your photos on. But you may not have a choice, so you may have to put up with it, but at least you'll know what the conditions are going to be like. So now I have everything I need to set out and capture those awesome pics. Now, I did say if you stayed to the end, I'd have a great giveaway for you. So if you'd like a copy of my free ebook, 50 Tips to Improve Your Photography, then head over to nifty50photographers.com, register your details, and you'll be able to download a free copy. I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video when we'll go on location and I'll give you some tips on what settings and everything to use to make sure you get an amazing shot. I look forward to seeing you then.